Hi, welcome back to Family and Fit, where we talk fitness and how to integrate it in your busy lifestyle. So today we'll be going over why should you even use a food scale. Those of you who watch my videos probably know that I really do not use a food scale too much. I actually do not track my food too much. I generally, when I'm cutting, I cut super hard. And if I go over what my goal is for the day, I don't worry about it because I'm in such a low deficit that eating a couple hundred extra calories really does not affect the way my diet goes. But there are times where I believe that you need to utilize food scales for dieting, both for cutting and bulking, but primarily for cutting. Let's get into it. So here's my food scale. The primary reason for utilizing a food scale is to get a visual representation of food and the caloric density. So, for example, I eat chicken strips a lot that are prepackaged, ready to just throw in the oven or the microwave. I generally try to get the ones that have to be thrown in the oven because they're going to be a little bit less processed in my eyes. So yeah, what we'll be tracking today is those chicken strips. So bow. Here we got the chicken strips. Here we got the food scale, and kind of show you guys a method of. Alright, so let's try again for the third millionth time. So yeah, I'm going to show you guys a couple methods of going about using this food scale to kind of make it a little bit easier for you. Sorry for the lighting issues. I notice when I turn this way it gets really dark. Hopefully it's tolerable. But one of the most simple ways is, so you can just throw your plate on there. Boom. Throw it right on the food scale. Right now it's weighing 12 grams. You can subtract that from all your foods, or most scales, like 99% of scales, have the handy feature of this here tare button. So you just hit the tare button, wait for it to zero out. Now the plate is on there and it weighs 0 grams. All right, so that's a way to go about it. Now, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and grab these chicken strips here. Toss these chicken strips on here. And what I'll generally do is I'll go into like MyFitnessPal and I will see roughly how many calories something's gonna be. So like I was shooting for 500 calories like normal. So I was looking at roughly 500 calories of chicken strips. I put in on MyFitnessPal how many calories per gram, and that gave me a rough estimate weight I would need to meet the caloric density that I wanted. Now, this here is not the 500 calories I went ahead and ate earlier, but this I weighed out to about 304 grams, which was a hair bit over 500 calories, I believe. I think, no, it actually ended up being like 600 calories, which 617 maybe, which I'm completely fine with that. That actually doesn't bother me. Matter of fact, I'll link up right here. I'll put an image of the MyFitnessPal so you can see that, guys. As you can see, I did actually hit 617 calories on the chicken strips. Just take a look right here at the carbs and fats that I took in. I don't pay attention to them at all. The protein was 50 grams. It really bums that I'm only consuming 50 grams of protein per day, but I may actually drink a protein shake. It could change, I don't know. We'll just kind of see where the day takes me, but mainly just check out MyFitnessPal and observe how on the number of servings it's 304, and that's because I have the serving size set at 1 gram, and I almost always do that. I use the scan function on MyFitnessPal as well. That way it pulls in the exact data if it has it, and then always compare that data to the actual packaging because it could be wrong. And as you can see, I do not even have the premium account. It's not necessarily necessary unless you're just super adamant about tracking every single thing you do. As you can see, it don't give me my daily goals, but I really don't care. The only thing I really care about are my total calories for the day and my grams of protein. If I hit those, I kind of just let the rest fall in place, and I eat with carbs or fats depending on how I feel that day. If I want chocolate, then that's going to boost up my fats. If I want to eat cereal, then that's going to boost up my carbs. And I just kind of keep it like that because that's what makes this thing easy and makes life interesting, you know. I don't want to have to be restricted to eating chocolate when I want to eat a bowl of cereal. God, this right here is, hopefully you can see that, 183 grams. So 183 grams, I don't know what the calories are for that. I'm not going to add that up right now, but I'm going to give y'all, go back to the demonstration of what we're doing here. So you have 183 grams of chicken, okay? And you would just plug that into MyFitnessPal. Try to find grams. If not, there's a unit button here on the scale as well. Just utilize the unit button. It can, you know, you could weigh in ounces, grams, whatever. I personally just try to do everything in grams if I have the ability to. Sometimes I'll get on MyFitnessPal and it'll only have things in ounces, so I have to go with it and I just utilize that. It's definitely not what I prefer. I'd rather just keep everything in grams, keeps things simple. And then I just kind of know if I want to use the food scale sometime. A lot of times I don't use MyFitnessPal either. So I'll know, you know, roughly 300 grams is 600 calories. So I'm looking at, what, 2 calories per gram. So 2 calories per gram, and that gave me about 50 grams of protein. So I get a general rough estimate, and plus on top of that, that'll pretty much be my portion size that I use over and over and over again. So going back to the visual context as well, before I jump into the next kind of like tip with the weight scale, a visual context, you can see that at 182 calories, which is about half as much as I ate. This was an entirely full plate of chicken strips. And so, you know, that was a solid amount of chicken and high in volume. And I'm able to look at this and know that if I have like an over full plate, that's probably about 600 calories. Okay, now I'm gonna go to the second method of utilizing the food scale. And so something I'll do here, that I will go ahead and throw on an empty plate. Okay, and this, the only thing that's different is this, is I'm gonna throw on the empty plate, then I'm gonna throw on my full plate. Boom, still about the same, 182 grams. And the reason why that tactic is very helpful, a lot of times the food that's on your plate is not easily removed and you've already filled your plate. So if you did like mashed potatoes, you wouldn't be trying to scrape your mashed potatoes off to weigh them. That's just a lot of work. So what you do is throw an empty plate on there, a similar plate. It has to be a pretty much identical plate. Now this could, being that these are paper plates, they could be off a gram or two. But to me, that's not that big of a deal. That's one reason why I diet so aggressively and why I bulk more slowly. It's just to make sure that I am able to keep track of my progress and I'm able to make progress, whether I'm making mistakes or not. Like I said, I have that 500 calorie goal every day. I do not even attempt to truly hit that. Like 500 calories, whenever I seen 600 calories worth of chicken strips on my plate, I wasn't worried about that whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, I put in like another 100 calories of sauce on my plate. So, and then I ate a little bit of Cinnamon Toast Crunch to break my fast earlier. And so that really probably put me about 800 calories for the day, but that's pretty negligible. 800 calories is nothing. And just check out my other videos. I do the Monday through Thursday thing. I explain it in all my videos. I don't want to keep repeating it for the viewers who are sticking around and watching all my content. So yeah, utilize your food scale to get a good representation of how many calories is in a certain amount of volume of food. So that way, like these chicken strips, and then you can pull out another complete different chicken strip and maybe the macros are completely worse on it, the calories are completely worse. But if you always utilize the same brand, like I pretty much eat these chicken Parmesan ones and this other one I get by Kirkwood. I think they're both made by Kirkwood. And I pretty much eat just those two. So now I know just by looking at the size of my plate, how much I can fit on there, how many calories I'm taking in, how much protein I'm taking in. Those are the two main things I focus on. I don't care too much about the carbs and the fats. I just focus primarily on how much protein am I taking in, how many calories am I taking in. And that tends to work for me. It may not work for everybody, you know, but like I said, it just works for me. So, you know, and I like to keep things simple. That's what I try to bring with this fitness channel that other people I don't think can do, is they don't necessarily keep things as simple as possible. I probably oversimplify things, but you know, if y'all want me to go in more detail, you just request it and I'll jump in there and I'll get you some more detailed videos. But yeah, there's also other methods to utilizing your food scale. Another tactic to utilizing the food scale, I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all that real quick. All right. So, liquid cottage cheese. So just to show you a quick representation, I'm not gonna actually go through the process of doing this, but what I will do here is I got creamer. So this is what you may do with liquids. Put on the creamer, you zero it out, so now it says 0 grams. The bottle of creamer's on there, so 0 grams. You take it off, 159, that number means nothing. But what the number that matters is I'll pour this into my coffee or whatever if I was to utilize this, which I don't really, I just mainly drink black coffee for the most part. And then it will say a certain amount of grams. So right there, it's still saying 0 grams because I didn't actually pour anything in there. But say for instance, I was wanting to hit the serving size on this, which is a tablespoon, also can be weighed in 15 milliliters. So say for instance, I poured a little bit until I got to 15 milliliters, not millimeters, sorry. But yeah, that's a good way that you can find out how many calories that you're using. Another thing you can do is you can actually put your coffee cup on the scale, zero it out, and then pour the creamer in there. That's another way of going about it. That's a lot of times how I'll prep my plate if I'm doing it, and also with my drinks. But a lot of times, so say for instance, here's a cottage cheese. Boom, zero it out. Okay, now that the cottage cheese is zeroed out, I will spoon off into a plate and I can watch the numbers drop down, or actually watch the numbers go up, and by that I know how many grams of the cottage cheese I'm taking out of the container and actually putting on my plate. And I find that to be tremendously helpful because I eat a lot of cottage cheese and I eat a lot of Greek yogurt, so that comes in handy. And just overall, like if you just don't know what the caloric density is of foods, like utilizing a food scale is super tremendous. Utilizing stuff like MyFitnessPal can be super helpful because you, like say for instance a banana, they're like super calorically dense, and you could really mess up a diet with bananas. I mean, like bananas I think are like 150 calories a banana. So, you know, if you're in some of them I think are way more than that. Like I think you can get up to like 250 calories on a banana just because they just got so many calories in them, especially big ones. But yeah, hopefully y'all found this video helpful. If I left anything out, put it down in the comments below, because you know, this is a community. It's here for us to all communicate upon. And yeah, I enjoy seeing y'all, and I hope to see y'all in the next one.